That's also a red flag too.
Definitely.
For different reasons. Not.
Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Faiven.
And welcome to Let's Talk About It.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and like this video. Also, we want to hear from you, so comment below during the video.
Today we are posing the question, are we boring? Because I don't know if I can remember the last time I did something fun.
I'm the opposite. I'm not boring at all. It's just Alex, but we'll get into it. Let's talk about it. But first, rapid fire.
The last time I tried something new was...
the other day, I went to the Squid Game experience.
Ah, yes.
I'd be outside. I'd be having fun. Would you rather go to a Broadway musical or a professional hockey game?
Hockey. I hate musicals.
You're one of those.
I'm one of those. Would you rather bungee jump or swim with sharks? But in a cage, not like out in the open. I think that makes a difference.
Swim with sharks.
Because of the cage, right?
I can easily create joy by blank.
Playing with my children. How important is dating someone outgoing on a scale of 1 to 10?
5. I need them when I need them. I don't want to do life alone. I want a +1. A luxury I will never take for granted again is blank.
Pilates. I can't tell you the last time I did Pilates. It's not in the cards right now.
A lot of things are not in the cards right now. You have an orphanage that you're running.
If someone gave you $100K and said, just have fun, what would you do?
Invest. It's fun. It's fun to watch compound interest grow.
I wrote this question out and I knew she was going to say something about saving.
Is it not fun to build wealth? Is it not fun to go from regular to rich?
Clearly, everyone has different ideas of fun.
What household task do you genuinely enjoy doing?
Organizing. The structure that it brings to organize my pantry, the refrigerator, the freezer, to consolidate and just use all of that genius to make it fit when y'all said I couldn't. Very satisfying.
So girl, I am a very fun person, okay? I be doing things. I like escape rooms. I went to the Squid Game experience.
Is that new?
Yes. Did you watch Squid Game?
Yes. I didn't know that the last episode was the last episode, so imagine my disappointment.
I didn't watch season 2.
It's good. So me and Joe wait for the action and the killing to start. So we skipped like the first 5. So that's why it felt so short, because we really only watched 3 episodes. And then we were like, what do you mean that was the finale?
Oh, okay. Well, I watched season 1 only, and in New York at the Manhattan Mall, they created this whole experience where there's like 5 different games and you go in with strangers and you get a wristband that you're just a number. And my heart was like pounding, like it was real. Like they actually built it out, like each game. You know the one where you walk across the tiles and then you fall through and die? So that was the first game we did, but obviously
how did they replicate that?
They just had tiles on the floor that lit up and like, so they had our faces on the screen and they were like, number 27, go to the 4th lane. Or I'm like, oh my God, it's me. So I'm like in the lane and then they would like show us a light up pattern. And they're like, you have a few moments to memorize the pattern. And I'm like, okay. I was like, 2 on, 2 off, 2 on, 1 off. Okay. And they're like, then it goes away. And then it says, you may begin. Take your first step. I'm like, I remember it was 2 on, 2 off. So I like skipped 2 tiles. And then after a second, everyone settled. And then be like, player 331 eliminated. Player did it. And like some people go, and we were all just like, oh my gosh. And I got through to the end.
You memorized lines. So that was the perfect first game for you.
Yes. But my heart was pounding the whole time. And then we just have to watch everyone else fail. And then at the end, you take the watch they give you with your number and you scan it, and that's how you collect your points. So you do all the games together. Some are group games. Like there was like a battleship one. There was the red light, green light was one of them with the girl and like the motion sensor, all that stuff. And then at the end, they tallied it and they tell you who wins. It was so fun. I went for free. My plugs be hilarious. My plugs be shows, food, clothes, and then like, would you like to do the Squid Game experience?
Variety, spice of life.
Yes, I would like to do the Squid Game experience. And the thing is, they were free, and because it was like a friends and family night, and somebody I knew like was working or organized it or something, I could have asked anyone to come with me, and I did not. You know why? Because I am fun. Me, myself, and I. And my fun does not rely on other people. I learned that when I'm obsessed with escape rooms.
Yes, you are.
And my only other friends who are also obsessed, if not more, live in LA. And I go with them when I'm over there. And I have gone with random friends here, but it's not as fun when you're pulling teeth.
I understand that.
Yeah, so I'm like, the Squid Game experience, I like looked it up. You can go by yourself because you're with everyone else, the competition. So it's technically individual, even though families can go, it can be a date night. So I am inherently a fun person who likes to do activities, especially now that I'm not drinking and I'm cooking at home. Because most people, their idea of fun is a dinner reservation in a bar. But I'm like, I have food at home and I'm not drinking. So can we do an activity? What about you?
Well, hold on. You didn't tell us if you won.
No, I didn't win.
Conveniently left that part out.
Because it's not important. How do you classify fun?
Fun as a like person, or like fun as like in my relationship?
Having fun. The opposite of boring.
Right. I mean, recently I've realized that I don't really do a lot of things for fun. Everything has been something that makes money, or I'm just, in survival mode right now. I don't really have a lot of things that we're doing for fun. However, I did just have a birthday. And so when my husband and I set our vision board, we didn't really do a vision board, but we did like vision planning for like the year, individual goals, family goals, all that stuff. One of the things that we said we wanted to try to do was just something new. And we just kind of, threw stuff out there of what that looked like. And he remembered one of the things I said. So for my birthday, he was like, hey, I need to peel this baby off of you for like 2 hours. Don't worry. She'll be okay. Cause I don't like parting with my babies when they're that young. But he was like, just 2 hours. I need to get this baby off of you and we're going to go somewhere. He wouldn't tell me where. And then we pull up to a dance studio and they teach us how to do ballroom dancing. So I didn't even know that like foxtrot and swing, and I knew the waltz was like considered ballroom because that's the dun dun dun, but yeah. I didn't know.
I watched Bridgerton.
I didn't know foxtrot and swing were also like, I guess, under that umbrella. So I definitely was like, you know me, I'm not an extrovert by any means. I'm not a get up and get on the dance floor kind of gal. So I was definitely like watching my feet heavy. And she was like, look at your partner, let him lead. And they were like private classes, but there was only like one other couple in the room. But because it wasn't a lot of people, I still was able to like have fun and not be in my head. And I was like, I felt really accomplished because doing anything new, at least for us in this season, like we have a new baby. Our baby is 2 months old. We're still very much trying to find our new normal. Felt like such a huge accomplishment. So I was very proud, and it was just like something fun to do on my birthday. That's my answer. Yeah.
Because you had a fun experience that had nothing to do with work and making money, or like the fun was not a byproduct of something you had to do. It was genuinely something just fun inherently. Did it make you reflect on the fact that you're not really having too much organic fun, or you're just realizing I'm in this season of life, let me just keep these babies alive?
I mean, we have come to that conclusion that we weren't having that much fun. And it's just like a byproduct of the demands of the children and like the goals that we're setting right now. Like we are saving up to buy a house. We want to be homeowners. So there's a lot of things that we have to weigh. Like, is fun going to cost us right now? Because if that's the case, then we need to find something for free to do in this house, because going out and spending a whole bunch of money is not going to get us the house that we want. So we also have to, I guess, apply a little bit more creativity to what does fun look like right now without it breaking the bank. Because we can't necessarily travel maybe the way that we want to right now. Also, every time you add children onto your group, it just, I don't know if you know this, but it makes the price of things go up.
And takes away a lot of the fun. I saw some of those memes on Instagram where I remember this dad in the caption, he was just like, a vacation with the kids.
Watching them in another city.
Yeah, it's just raising your kids in another city. It's not a vacation. Like you're still rearing kids. I know some people can disassociate and like they have somebody watch the kids, they go get drinks, they go like they actually were able to do both and compartmentalize. I probably wouldn't be able to do that because I'd be like, give me my kids.
The third baby has really changed the game for us. Like, you have to be on high alert when you go somewhere with your kids in a way that you don't have to be when you guys are at home. Because at home, maybe they can rec shop, or, you know, they know where they can and can't go. You don't have to apologize to anybody if something breaks because it's your house. But when you take your kids somewhere else, there is no, and I think Joe realized this lesson too in practice when he was like, oh, I'm just going to sit down and watch the game with my dad. No, you're not. Like, we have a 2-year-old. You're going to chase him around the house and make sure that he doesn't mess up anything in Nana and Pop-Pop's house. And so he was like, this is not so fun.
Yeah. I do think though there are people who can be fun without having to do an activity, just they have good energy and like good vibes. Cause I mean, even like when you come to New York and we frolic, we're not really doing much. We're not doing an activity, but I'm like, oh, I'm seeing my friend. I have fun.
Yeah, because when you enjoy somebody's company, you don't always have to go out and do things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's always that third thing that is the focus when you're doing the thing. Like, I remember somebody talking about this with men, how men don't know how to just sit across from each other and kiki, which is not true. I see men hanging out all the time. But in general, there always has to be a third thing, like watch the game or go fishing or be like barbecue on the grill. Like they have to be doing the thing because they haven't unlocked that level of intimacy that a lot of women can just talk to each other and feel great, you know, make a charcuterie board or something and then feel great. So I think some people inherently aren't fun because remember the guy that didn't work out with the guy in DC and I hung out with him for a whole weekend?
Yes.
His idea of spending time in entertainment, and I am assuming also fun, was just watching TV. True crime documentaries back to back to back. And then turn that off and put on sports and turn that off and maybe put on some music while you're searching for the next thing to watch. Like he literally just glued to the TV. And I'm like, when are we gonna? And he was like, oh, I thought, I mean, we're
you
doing...
do that once you're settled. Me and Joe, we will definitely sit down and Netflix, but we some years and some kids in.
That's what I'm saying.
You should still be excited at that stage.
So to me, I'm like, you are boring. You are not fun. Because I'm like, when you meet a brand new person, where's the energy? So I'm like, if you're already like lethargic and Netflix and chill without even like real Netflix and chill, not even attempting to hook up, like you are just on this couch watching TV. I'm like, I could have just done this at home. Like, why am I here? So yeah, that didn't go anywhere. And all that to say, when you, especially dating, go out with someone, they need to have that energetic vibe. So you can just be sitting in a bar, drinking sparkling water, but like laughing, talking, and having fun. And you're just sitting there.
Yeah. And
some people don't have that inside them. So if you're ever thinking like, oh, I'm so boring, what do you have to talk about? Like, you don't have to, especially a lot of men, we're talking very like, you know, cis, hetero dates specifically, they get nervous because they're like, oh, what should I plan for the date? It's not always, oh, we need to do mini golf and we need to go dancing and we need to go bowling and we need to go shuffleboard. We don't always need to have an activity. If you are inherently a fun person, it could be so chill. Like, let's get a 6-pack of Topo Chicos.
Love me a Topo.
Sit on the roof, play rummy, and chat. That is basically free. Maybe $5.99, or you get the Topo Chico on sale, whatever it is. But yeah, I think it's like an inward thing.
For sure. Like younger me used to equate fun with like going to the club. And I remember like I was having a conversation with my mom one day and she was like, one day when you're older, you're not going to be about clubbing. And I was just like, loser. Like, you know, the club is always going to be fun. But the reality is, at least for me, again, I'm an introvert at heart. If I wasn't drinking back then, the club probably wouldn't have been fun for me either. I was trying to will myself into these extroverted ideas of fun because I was so afraid that if I didn't like going to the club, then that would make me boring. If I didn't like going out and socializing, that would make me boring. But there are other ways to have fun. I mean, I definitely am living a life now that is club free And I love it. I do have moments of boredom, which I also want to just say I think are healthy. I think that if you're constantly stimulated and doing something and blah, 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 and then you all of a sudden are just like twiddling your thumbs with like a moment of silence, it's like, when are you ever processing your experiences if you're always, I don't know, like an adrenaline junkie or something, you know?
Yeah, I'm crying because
What?
this morning Alex comes out of the room
Oh.
and she gets no sleep because she has 15,000 babies. And I got what, 9, 10 hours? I got a lot of sleep. And then the first thing, the first thing I say to her is like, she's like, "Oh, good morning." I'm like, "Hi." And I grab my phone and my headphones. I'm like, "I have to do my meditation." She's like, "I don't want to hear anything about meditation. I didn't get a lick of sleep last night." Yes. I'm like, we made our own decisions in life, honey. You decided to have all these responsibilities. I'm getting several hours of sleep. And then I start my day. I'm doing Deepak Chopra, 21 days of meditation. We're on day 21. So
good for you.
Namaste.
Friend. We actually had to, what was it? Was it our anniversary or something? Joe planned a lot of stuff for us. And I'm like, oh, you forgot that we old and got children. Like, we did like 2 of the 3 things. And then it was like, can you get your money back? Can you get it? Like, we were just so ready to be back home and back in the house. But by the time my birthday came around, he planned it better. Like, we did the dancing, then we went and got a bite of food. We picked up something sweet to take home for the kids, and then that was it. And I was so excited to go home and to just like chill and relax. The only downside to my birthday is it's literally always like the coldest time of the year. Like February is freezing, and this winter especially has been brutal. So I want to be in the house. I want to be watching movies, whether they're good or bad. I'll hate watch it and just talk crap about it, but this is my hibernation season. You got to check back with me when it starts getting a little warmer outside.
You remember that ex I had who spent a lot of money? Okay, anyway, they planned a birthday that was so elaborate, and to me it was not fun because I was tired.
Was this the ex that went to Europe for mental health?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I get the itis when I eat a lot, as most of us do. So my birthday itinerary was an escape room, which is great, and then a fancy dinner, which was great, but then also a masquerade.
But this was for your 30th, right?
The issue was the lack of communication and listening. I'm like, I do not want to do these things. This is too many things. We could do a daytime escape room. Great. That's only 1 hour of my life. And then you get time to reset, relax, change clothes, and then go to the fancy dinner where we ate a lot and it was amazing. I wanted to go home after that.
Yeah, I remember you were pissed.
I had the itis and I was like, can you get a refund on the tickets for the masquerade? The answer was no. And they were like $120 tickets each. So here I am in heels and a dress and like at this thing. And I'm like, mind you, my birthday is New Year's Eve. So there's always a party and it's New York City. So you could be out till 4 a.m. But I'm just like, this to me is not fun. And again, I'm a fun person and I like to do activities and things. But if you're still in club mode, it's not for me.
Also, in hindsight, I feel like, because how long had you guys been together by that point?
2 years?
You should know your partner well enough by then to know that that is going to be too overstimulating for them, or that's just going to be too much.
Yep. Well, they didn't last much longer after that.
It didn't. It
February
went downhill.
It was
down
like,
a
bye.
steep hill. Yes.
You know, sometimes you're building up your case to why it needs to be released.
I mean, that is my favorite relationship demise of yours, because that was also around the time when, I can't remember, this predated COVID or not?
It was before COVID.
All right, so they just got laid off then. But it changed the dynamic that you were used to. And you were very type A, you don't like sudden change, you guys were living together, and now they were also at home with you, and it drove you nuts.
Wow. What's funny is my brain blocks out all irrelevant information, so I'm hearing this story for the first time. Go
right,
on.
and I don't retain a lot either, but like I remember you wearing that slip dress and those heels on your birthday, because I just remember thinking, Faiven, why don't you love this? They're doing so much for you. As I also share a story about how like I don't want to do too much. But yeah, I was just like, you don't like this person. Like,
yeah.
You're mad that they're home, that they're messing up your day-to-day.
Yeah. That's how different I was back then before any growth. Like now I read books and go within literally with the meditation and stuff. And actually know what I want and what I desire and what I look for in a partner. And before, I ignored all of that just to have a person because everyone else has a person. So I was like, I just need to pick a person.
Nah, girl.
And now I'm just like everyone else. No, it's honestly so much better to be single and happy and literally have fun, because even me back then would not have gone to the Squid Game experience by myself if I couldn't find someone to go with me, as if I need another person to experience joy. I had so much fun. And I ended up talking to all the people that was around me, and like this really fun gay couple, this mom and daughter, this family, like a mom, dad, and their daughter. And me and the daughter were both on the leaderboard. That's what I had posted. Did you see that post where I was like, oh, I'm going to take her out? I had so much fun because it's like, it's just your inherent personality that can have fun. So yeah, that is something to look out for, especially when dating or trying to partner for a long time. Can you have fun with someone? And I really do think people mess that up and they think, oh, well, does that mean they like to go bowling too? Like, no, like, can you sit on the deck and be at peace?
Yes.
That's joy. That's fun. That's fulfilling.
Absolutely. Like, I know in our marriage, you have to just laugh sometimes to keep from going crazy, because like the level of chaos that we are experiencing on a day-to-day, I'm like, wow, when somebody has this many kids and they're still able to like make time for you or text you back or just anything, like it just takes a buttload. So you really have to appreciate when people are still making time for you and they have freaking families. Like, it is, I don't know. But I think the thing that
you make time for me.
I think one of the things that is keeping me afloat is like, number one, I know this is temporary, the season that we're in where the kids are so young and demanding. And I know one day there's going to come a time where I don't hear these little feet like running down the hallway. And then I'm going to miss this. I'm going to miss all these things that like are driving me nuts now because I'm sleep deprived. And so me and my husband just look at each other and like laugh. Because otherwise, sometimes you'll get mad. You'll just, and you know, they're just kids. They're just doing kid things. But in order to keep your sanity and not go, oh, I got all this work to do. I got all this. Like, listen, feeling ahead, I have started to learn, is like a myth. Just like balance is like a myth. Because when you're doing good here, you're maybe struggling here. So right now, our idea of fun sometimes is just like replaying like moments that happen with the kids, and maybe it's only an inside joke between like husband and wife, and it's like a laugh that we can share. But that's just kind of, you know, where we're at right now. And as the kids get older, you know, we will be able to send them off or divide them amongst sitters, and then be able to schedule some more time with ourselves or with each other and ourselves. But yeah, actually going out to schedule fun maybe isn't as frequent, but to your point, because we enjoy each other's company, like, it's always good vibes when we're together. Like, I don't think I could ever get tired of spending time with my husband.
Yeah. You know what's going to be fun? His performance.
Yes. Oh, you know what? Yes. Look at us. We're going to see a comedy show together, and he gets to open for it. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's just fun.
Yes.
And you're going to have, you said a baby, you have one baby strapped to you.
Uh-huh. The other baby's going to be at home. The other two going to be at home. The big baby going to watch the middle baby. And
So that's going to be a really fun night. And I'm excited for that. And you know, I'm going to be here. I'll be outside.
Yes.
Because I'd be having fun.
Yes.
You know what? Has this ever happened to you? Because it's happened to me before. Having such a good itinerary out that you think you like the person you're on the date with, but you actually just enjoyed the activity. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Like in the rapid fire, when I asked, oh, would you rather go to a Broadway musical or a hockey game? I thought of hockey game because I literally went to a Rangers game at MSG for free with a guy. And I didn't like him at all. I didn't know I didn't like him, so I was not using him for these tickets. But we met, I was working events at the Players Association, and then he's like, I have these free tickets. And I'm like, okay, let's go. So we sit with each other. He's insecure because my phone buzzed, so I take it out, and he's like, who you texting? Who you texting? A guy? I bet you're texting a bunch of guys. Like, and he kept making comments like that. I'm like, see, I don't know. You can't just be regular. Like, you can't just talk to me about literally anything. It was my first hockey game ever. All that to say, I tried to bring it back to hockey. So I'm like, because I didn't know anything. I didn't know they had periods instead of quarters. I didn't know how anything worked. I ended up having so much fun at the game because there's so much tension when they're just going back and forth. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then at the end, there was one goal made in overtime by the one black player on the Rangers. And everyone was like screaming. And I don't know, I was on my feet. That's how fun it was. It was my very first game ever. And I was like, I walked away. I was like, this was a great night. And only until he asked me hang out again, I was like,
oh, you were there.
Oh, No, I am not. I don't want to hang out again, but I had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
That be happening. So here's a cautionary tale, especially for people who do the asking out and do the planning of dates. Don't make it so elaborate that they only want to go out with you because you're providing them entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a trap. Because then you're coming out of pocket. You're using your brain power to plan these itineraries, and the person is literally there because you're entertaining them.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes getting flued out and this and that. It's like you're entertaining them. So unless you're getting something out of it, like just keep it pretty chill, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I
I don't think that has ever happened to me. The closest, and it's still a mile away, that I have to that story is I was hanging out with a friend and he let me tag along to a job because we were both modeling. But because we were so busy and didn't really get a chance to talk, like it was cool, it was fun. It was like a fun kind of modeling work event. You know, I just didn't have enough time to gauge vibes. But when the setting changed and we did step out and go on a date, I realized that I either didn't know the person that he was, or maybe I didn't realize the person that he was. But him in that model work setting differed so much from him on a date that I just was disgusted by him.
Not disgusted.
Because I was like, were you always this like dumb? Like you are saying stuff right now that is like, read the room. Why would you? Did I miss all of this?
Yeah.
And I must have.
That happened to me before on a set. The model was the son of a famous boxer.
Okay.
So I don't want to say his name because everyone would know who he is. So we're paired up. No, I think it was 4 people on the set, some like magazine thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, he's fine. And I looked at the call sheet. I'm like, why his name look familiar? I'm like, oh, okay. So I put it all together. And I think him being who he is got him a lot of girls. And I could tell because of the way he approached me, because he's just like, hey, like, you want to hang out? I was like, yeah, sure. And he's just like, well, I live in Queens if you want to like come back to my place. And I'm like, does that work? Does that work?
It probably does.
With people? Like, you don't have to put in any effort at all. You just like come to my house. Bro, I don't know you, but I mean, it was a good vibe on set and you are attractive.
You said this to him?
No. I just declined. But like, that's just crazy to me that I'm like, wow, so there's people who do too much, like bringing you to MSG and flying you places and they're gambling that way. Then there's people who don't do anything at all. So I'm just like, and then even with that, you can't even tell somebody's vibe. Like I don't, if there's no vibe at all, to go to someone's house is weird. Well, it's weird for different reasons, but it depends what you want. If you want a casual, whatever, that's fine. But like, yeah, no, if you don't even know how to operate outside of physical intimacy, that's also a red flag too.
Definitely.
For different reasons. Not just because, oh, I don't want a situationship or I don't want to hook up. Just in general, if some people don't know how to do anything other than hook up or sit and watch TV, that's like not a vibe in general.
When is the last time that you were bored?
I get bored every winter season because work stops. Work comes to a screeching halt, and I'm so efficient that I run out of tasks to entertain myself. Okay,
but tasks aside, like, what are some of the things that you do that are just strictly for fun? They're not a checklist. They're not fluffing the pillows.
First of all, that stuff is fun.
Doing your workout, which I guess, can double up self-care, fun, whatever. But like, what was my question to you?
Girl,
not me forgetting.
When was the last time I was bored?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I know, like you're saying, like checklist tasks are not fun, but they are to me. They literally bring me joy. And it's within context, because when I'm busy and I'm working, so if I'm on set or if I'm working events and my calendar is just full of different events I have to work, then I have to structure all the tasks in between that. And then I have a different urgency, and then I feel a different sense of accomplishment because I'm like, oh, I got all this done in these confines. And then when the day is over and I'm able to just like relax and then like put on something on TV and just like zen out, then I'm actually at peace. So when I say I'm bored in the winter is because all work goes away. And yeah, I can still do the tasks. Like, but how much organizing and food prepping and working out can you do in a week when you have no work and it's just you to take care of?
Right, but that's when like the fun hobbies start now. Like, would you ever buy like a sketchbook and just like
No,
or
because
paint by numbers?
I don't like
or
clutter. That's clutter. I do my own gel nails.
I'm trying to get at what you do for like fun. That's not like, so you do your nails because you're a frugal, efficient queen. But what do you do that is not related to outcome or efficiency or
Wow, I can't just have fun going through rabbit holes. I go
like, do you
down.
make puzzle or do puzzles? Do you have, are you part of a book club?
I be reading.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
I did.
Okay.
I'm almost through that thick book you gave me.
Are you enjoying it?
Yes, it's like a
Is reading you
mind
fulfill?
F every day. It's crazy. I do like reading, but that's also part of my like morning ritual checklist. Like my coffee, sit on the couch, read a few chapters, and then I have a outside the house book and an inside the house book. So I just finished my Subway outside the house book, which is all about love. Took me a while because I was busy, but I do enjoy reading. I do enjoy specific gripping TV like Severance. But in general, I think my whole life is positive and light and airy that I don't need specific tasks that are just like, this is my thing for fun. I paint. I
You calling
sing.
them tasks is hilarious. I'm like, you mean hobbies? Like, no, it's not. It needs to be efficient. It needs to have a purpose. It's a task.
Is that crazy? Because I'm okay. Like I said, I like escape rooms and stuff, but I'm not going to do an escape room every day.
But you wouldn't call an escape room a task, right? You would call it a hobby.
It's a hobby. It's just a fun thing to do, not tied to anything else or efficiency or productivity.
Like even when I don't love reading, but I'm trying to love reading. But then even when I do read, I'm not gravitating towards book. I'm not reading like a fun romance novel. I'm like, let me find a self-help book. And I'm like, how did you now turn what was supposed to be a hobby into a task? Now
but
the
it's
assignment.
Fun, though.
Sometimes.
Because you're reading for pleasure and it's not a school assignment and you're actually learning stuff. To me, it's a twofer.
But it's not for pleasure because remember, I don't like reading. I'm still trying to will myself to like it. And now it has become a task because it's like, you said you were going to read 3 times this week. Did you make that, did you meet that demand? And now you're reading as like a measure of like, I'm still working on me. So like for me to have fun doing it would mean that I need to pick a book that just is not an assignment in any way.
I see. Okay, so we're different in that regard. Reading is fun for me because it's not an assignment. It's not being told, like it's not being mandated of me to read. And I find joy in the fact that I have the privilege to be able to sit down in a nice, clean apartment and with my coffee next to me and just read. Like, what a gift. So to me, that feels great. And I feel accomplished. So like endorphins are like running. I don't know. I'm a very simple person. I guess now, wow, next time I do start dating again and someone's like, what do you do for fun? I need to work on my answer.
Yeah.
Because escape rooms, how many, girl? But cooking is fun for me. Like I literally, when I post the Smash Passes, it's hilarious. Y'all should go on my Instagram. I plate everything so pretty. And that brings me so much joy. And it's like a twofer. Again, there's utility in it. Like I'm going to have to eat anyway. So why not food prep and make it practical? But then I make it pretty and I make it inclusive and I post it online and people are voting yes or no. And then asking me about recipes. Like that's fun for me.
Yeah. I guess like what I'm trying to add to my life when I say fun, because I also enjoy cooking. But for example, if I stopped cooking, a lot of people in my family would not eat, or the quality of food that we would now eat would drastically change. My husband is working on it. But like if you stopped cooking right now, you would not eat. And then that would become a problem because now we're talking about survival. So I'm talking about the kind of things that are fun, but also if you stop doing them, it wouldn't really impact your life in like a life or death kind of way.
I like playing rummy.
Okay.
So I bring a deck of cards with me sometimes when I go places, and especially if it's just chilling, like, oh, let's go hang out at this cool spot. I'll throw a deck of cards in my purse.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll hang out, like grab something from the bar, grab some fries, and like, oh, I'll teach someone how to play rummy. I've done that several times. And then they learn, and then we'll like keep just talking, like a regular chill hang, but over a card game.
Yeah. Like, I guess for me, this season of life that I'm in, just like as a wife and as a mother, you are, you're just trying to like manage your family and get everybody out the door and get everybody fed, keep the house clean, that everything just becomes, like check, 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 check. And like when my daughter gets out of the house, Lily's 14. I'm like, how old is my baby? Lily's 14. But like, I don't want her to look back on her childhood memories and be like, all right, mom was always about, getting stuff done, getting us from point A to point B, but we never really had fun. Because my mom was like that a lot of ways. And I understand it. When you're just in the thick of parenthood for so many years, you just are so used to being on autopilot doing all those things that sometimes you have to intentionally say, hey, listen, it's okay if the dishes don't get done today. We're going to do like a family game night or something. Or like I saw this one video on TikTok. Now you got to have clean counters for this, but the mom just had nacho night, and you clean the counters and you just like throw all the food on the counter, and then you like also are eating it off the counter. Like you decorate the whole counter as like a giant massive platter. And I'm like, I would have loved that as a kid, because it's so different, it's unconventional, and you're not worried about like, oh, we have to eat off plates and things like that. So I'm just like, all right, what can I do that's like fun? What core memories can I have with my kids and my family now, so that they don't think that mom is just always trying to work or get us to work or do a chore.
Well, I think in this phase of life, because you have all these responsibilities, maybe you do things that are a twofer, like we're saying, like they need to eat, so
let's make it fun.
Yeah, let's make it fun. Like that's why people make pizzas with them and stuff like that. So I don't know.
We're going to check back in with each other. Your assignment is going to be to add something else to the list that in no way, shape, or form can be quantified as a task. And my assignment is going to be to do twofers. If I have to do it anyway, how can I make it fun with the family?
How about you? Are you boring? What do you do that's fun? And if someone asks you sitting across from the table, what do you do for fun? What is your actual answer? Because now I'm stumped.
Yes, we want to hear from you. How do you define fun? When's the last time you had it? Let us know.
Yes, let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.